The distress signal had been calling for help for 8 hours. No one answered. No one wanted to answer. The signal came from a Volante ship, and the Volante were the most hated people in the galaxy. Lisa Moore sat in the captain's chair of her medical ship, the Starlight. She was a doctor first and a commander second. Her ship was small, with only 15 crew members, and their job was simple. They flew through space and helped people who needed medical care. They did not fight wars. They did not take sides. They just helped, but this distress signal was different. "Commander," said Danny Ortiz, her pilot. He was a young man with dark hair and worried eyes. "That signal is from a Volante royal ship. If we go there, we will have problems." Lisa knew he was right. The Volante Empire had fallen 3 months ago. Their great war against the other species had ended in total defeat. Their emperor was dead. Their fleets were destroyed. Their home world was occupied by enemy soldiers. Everyone hated the Volante now. They had killed millions of people on dozens of planets. They had been cruel and terrible, and now the galaxy wanted revenge. "Someone is dying out there," Lisa said quietly. "Someone Volante," Danny replied. "Commander, the Sindari will not be happy if we help them. The Keth will not be happy. Nobody will be happy. I did not become a doctor to let people die because of politics." She stood up from her chair and looked at her crew. They were all watching her, waiting to see what she would decide. Some of them looked scared. Some of them looked angry. None of them looked excited about answering that signal. "We are going," Lisa said. "Prepare the medical bay. Danny, take us to those coordinates." Danny sighed, but he turned back to his controls. "Yes, Commander." The Starlight moved through space toward the source of the signal. As they got closer, Lisa could see the destruction on her screen. The Volante ship had been torn apart. Pieces of metal floated everywhere. Bodies drifted in the darkness between the broken sections of the ship. Someone had attacked this vessel with very powerful weapons. "Life signs," said Karen Wells, the sensor officer. She was an older woman with gray hair and a calm voice. "I am reading one life sign. Very weak." In the middle section of the ship. "One survivor," Lisa said. "From a ship this size, that means everyone else is dead." "It looks that way, Commander." Lisa turned to her medical team. "Get the emergency equipment ready. We are going over there." She led a small group through the airlock and into the destroyed ship. The corridors were dark and filled with smoke. Emergency lights flickered red. Lisa stepped over bodies of Volante guards. They had died fighting, their weapons still in their hands. Whatever attacked the ship, the crew had tried to defend it. They found more bodies as they went deeper. Officers, servants, soldiers, all dead. "This way," Lisa said. Following the life sign on her scanner, they reached a large room that had once been beautiful. Now it was destroyed. The walls were cracked. The ceiling had fallen in some places. And in the middle of all the destruction, lying in a pool of silver blood, was a young Volante woman. Lisa had seen Volante before, but never one like this. The woman had pale blue skin, covered now with terrible wounds. She had 4 arms, which was normal for her species, but they all hung broken and useless. On her head, growing from her skull like a crown, were crystal structures that glowed with faint light. But the crystals were cracked and damaged, and their light was dying. "That is a royal," whispered Sam Costa, one of the medical team. He was young and new to the crew. "Look at the crystals. Only the royal family has those." Lisa moved closer and knelt beside the woman. She was still breathing, but barely. Her large dark eyes were open, staring at nothing. She was dying. "Get the stretcher," Lisa ordered. Sam did not move. "Commander, do you know who this is?" "This is Princess Keleth. Her father was the emperor. He ordered the attack on Sindari Prime. 300 million people died because of him. Her father is dead, Lisa said. She is not her father, but the bounty on her head is, I do not care about bounties. Lisa looked up at her team. Her voice was hard now. I am a doctor. She is my patient. We are taking her back to the ship, and we are saving her life. Does anyone have a problem with that? No one spoke. Sam looked away, his face red. Good. Now get the stretcher. They worked quickly. The princess was badly hurt. Lisa could see broken bones, internal bleeding, and severe damage to her neural crystals. She should already be dead. The fact that she was still alive showed incredible strength, or maybe just terrible luck. As they lifted her onto the stretcher, the princess's eyes moved. She looked at Lisa, really looked at her. And Lisa saw something in those dark alien eyes. Fear, pain, and something else. Surprise. The princess was surprised that anyone had come. You are safe now, Lisa said softly. I am going to help you. The princess tried to speak, but no words came out. A single silver tear ran down her blue cheek. They carried her back to the starlight. The medical bay was ready, and Lisa began working immediately. The injuries were worse than she had thought. The princess had been shot, beaten, and left to die. Someone had wanted her to suffer before she died. Commander, Danny's voice came through the speaker. We have a problem. 3 ships just appeared on sensors. Sindari military vessels. They are coming this way fast. Lisa did not stop working. How long until they reach us? 20 minutes. Then we need to leave in 15. Start the engines. They will follow us. Then we will run. She turned back to her patient. The princess was unconscious now, which was probably better. The surgery Lisa needed to do would be painful. But Lisa had done difficult surgeries before. She had saved people who everyone else had given up on. She would save this one too. Karen came to the door of the medical bay. Commander, I need to ask you something. Not now, Karen. It is important. The older woman stepped inside and lowered her voice. Why are we doing this? You know what will happen. The Sindari will demand we give her to them. The Keth will send their own ships. Every bounty hunter in the sector will come after us. We are putting the entire crew in danger for one person. One Volanti person. Lisa stopped working and looked at Karen. Her hands were covered in silver blood. Her face was tired, but her eyes were clear. Because she needed help, Lisa said simply. And we were there. That is enough. Karen stared at her for a long moment. Then she nodded slowly. I will tell the crew to prepare for a long journey. Thank you, Karen. The older woman left and Lisa returned to her work. The princess was stable for now, but there was still so much damage to repair. It would take days, maybe weeks, before she was out of danger. On the bridge, Danny watched the Sindari ships getting closer. He had served under Commander Moore for 3 years. He knew she was stubborn. He knew she was kind. But he had never seen her do something this crazy. She's going to get us all killed, he muttered to himself. But he started the engines anyway, and the starlight turned away from the destroyed royal ship. They flew into the darkness of space, carrying the most wanted person in the galaxy, because one human woman had refused to let her die. The Sindari ships followed, and the running began. The first message came 12 hours after they rescued the princess. Lisa was still in the medical bay, watching over her patient when Danny called her to the bridge. She was tired. She had been awake for almost 2 days. But there was no time to rest. It is the Sindari commander, Danny said as she walked onto the bridge. He wants to talk to you. Lisa sat in her chair and nodded. Put him through. The screen flickered and a Sindari face appeared. The Sindari were reptile-like creatures with green scales and yellow eyes. This one wore the uniform of a military commander. His name was Vrek, and he was clearly not happy. "Human vessel," Vrek said coldly. "You are carrying a war criminal. You will stop your engines and prepare to be boarded. You will give us Princess Keleth." "This is not a request." Lisa kept her voice calm. "Commander Vrek, my ship is a medical vessel. We do not carry weapons. We are protected by interstellar medical treaties. You cannot board us. Those treaties do not apply to ships carrying war criminals. My patient is not a war criminal. She has not been tried. She has not been convicted. She is simply an injured person who needed medical care." Vrek's eyes narrowed. "Her father killed 300 million of my people. She is his daughter. She stood beside him while he ordered those attacks. She is guilty. Then take her to a proper court. Let her have a fair trial. That is how justice works." "Justice?" Vrek made a sound that might have been a laugh. "You humans and your ideas about justice. The Volanthi did not give my people justice when they burned our cities. They did not give us fair trials when they executed our leaders. Why should we give them anything?" Lisa leaned forward. "Because if you do not, you become exactly like them." The Sindari commander stared at her through the screen. For a moment, Lisa thought she saw something change in his yellow eyes. Then it was gone. "You have 6 hours," Vrek said. "Then we will destroy your ship and take her body from the wreckage. Your treaties will not save you." The screen went dark. Danny turned to look at Lisa. "Commander, we cannot outrun them. Their ships are faster than ours." "I know. And we cannot fight them. We have no weapons." "I know that too. So what do we do?" Lisa stood up from her chair. "We find another way." She went back to the medical bay. Princess Keleth was awake now, her dark eyes watching Lisa as she entered. The surgery had been successful, but the princess was still very weak. She could not move her lower arms at all, and her neural crystals were still damaged. "I heard the conversation," Keleth said. Her voice was soft and tired. The translator in this room was active. Lisa sat down beside her bed. "Then you know the situation." "Yes." The princess looked away. "You should give me to them. There is no reason for your crew to die for me. I am not giving you to anyone." "Why?" Keleth turned back to her, and there was real confusion in her eyes. "I do not understand you. I am Volanthi. My family did terrible things. My people conquered worlds and killed millions. You should hate me like everyone else does. I do not hate you." "But why?" "You do not know me. You do not owe me anything. Your own crew is afraid because of me." The princess's voice cracked. "Even my own people abandoned me. My guards sold our location to the Sindari. My advisors fled before the attack. Everyone I trusted left me to die. Why would a stranger, a human, risk everything for me?" Lisa was quiet for a moment. She looked at this young woman, this princess of a fallen empire, and she saw something that reminded her of herself many years ago. "When I was young," Lisa said slowly, "I made mistakes. Big mistakes. I hurt people I loved. I was selfish and angry and lost. Everyone gave up on me. My family, my friends, everyone." She paused. "Except one person. A teacher. She saw something in me that I could not see in myself. She helped me when I did not deserve help. She believed in me when I did not believe in myself. And she changed my life." "What happened to her?" "She died. A long time ago. But I made her a promise before she died. I promised that I would help people the way she helped me. I promised that I would never give up on anyone, no matter who they were or what they had done." Lisa reached out and took one of Keleth's hands. "So I am not giving up on you. Not because you deserve it. Not because it is smart. But because everyone deserves a chance." Keleth stared at her. Silver tears were forming in her eyes again. I do not know what to say. You do not have to say anything. Just rest. I will figure out a way to get us out of this. Lisa stood up and walked to the door. But before she left, Cal's voice stopped her. There's a gate, the princess said. An old Velanti gate. It was built long ago, before my family took power. It leads to a part of space that no one uses anymore. The coordinates are stored in my neural crystals. Lisa turned back. Can you access them? I think so. My crystals are damaged, but I might be able to get the information out. Caleth hesitated. But the gate has not been used in hundreds of years. It might not work. It is better than nothing. And the Sindari will not know where we went. The gate network is a Velanti secret. Even most Velanti do not know about it. Lisa walked back to the bed. Can you do it now? I can try. Caleth closed her eyes. The crystals on her head began to glow brighter, though some of them flickered and sparked. Lisa could see the pain on her face as she pushed her damaged mind to work. I have them, Caleth said finally. Her voice was weak, and blood was running from her nose. The coordinates. I am sending them to your ship's computer. Lisa grabbed her communicator. Danny, check the navigation system. Do you see new coordinates? A pause. Then Danny's excited voice came back. Yes, Commander. I see them. It is pointing to something in the dust cloud near the red star. Some kind of structure. That is the gate, Caleth said. It is hidden there. No one has used it in a very long time. Lisa looked at the princess. Will it work? I do not know. Maybe. Maybe not. Caleth opened her eyes. But it is a chance. A chance is all I need. Lisa squeezed her hand. Rest now. You did well. She ran back to the bridge. Danny, set course for those coordinates. Maximum speed. Commander, that will take us through the dust cloud. Our sensors will not work well in there. I know. Do it anyway. Danny hesitated, then nodded. Yes, Commander. The starlight changed direction and flew toward the red star. Behind them, the 3 Sindari ships followed. But the dust cloud was thick, and soon the Sindari sensors would have trouble tracking them. Karen came to stand beside Lisa. The crew wants to know what is happening. Tell them we have a plan. Do we? Lisa looked at the screen, where the dust cloud was getting closer. We have a chance. That is enough. And if the gate does not work, then we will find another way. We always do. Karen studied her captain's face. She had known Lisa for 10 years. She had seen her save lives that should have been impossible to save. She had seen her face impossible situations and find solutions that no one else could see. All right, Karen said. I will tell the crew. As she left the bridge, Lisa let out a long breath. The truth was, she did not know if this would work. The gate might be broken. The Sindari might catch them first. They might all die in the next few hours, but she had made a promise. To herself, to her old teacher, and now to the princess lying in the medical bay. She would not give up. Not now. Not ever. The dust cloud was dark and dangerous. The starlight moved slowly through it, sensors struggling to see what was ahead. Red dust covered the windows. Strange energy waves made the ship shake. But they kept going. Lisa stood on the bridge, watching the screen. Somewhere behind them, the Sindari ships were still following. They were slower in the dust cloud, but they were not giving up. How far to the gate? Lisa asked. Danny checked his controls. 15 minutes at this speed. But Commander, I am seeing something strange on the sensors. What kind of strange? There is a lot of energy ahead. Old energy. It is coming from the gate, I think. The structure is really big. Lisa nodded. Keep going. In the medical bay, Calith was trying to sit up. Her body was still weak, and her arms did not want to work properly. But she needed to be on the bridge. The gate would need her to activate it. Without the royal code stored in her neural crystals, the ancient structure would stay dead. She managed to get out of bed. Her legs were shaking. Every step hurt. But she walked slowly to the door and then down the corridor toward the bridge. A crew member named Tony Garcia saw her and rushed to help. "Princess, you should not be walking," Tony said. He was a medical assistant, young and kind. "Let me help you." "I need to reach the bridge," Calith said. "The gate will not open without me." Tony put his arm around her and helped her walk. They moved slowly through the ship. Other crew members watched them pass. Some of them looked at Calith with fear. Some looked at her with anger. But a few looked at her with something else. Curiosity, maybe even sympathy. They reached the bridge just as the gate came into view on the main screen. It was enormous. The structure was a ring made of dark metal and bright crystals, floating in space near the red star. The ring was at least 50 kilometers wide. Ancient symbols covered its surface, glowing with faint purple light. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "That is the gate," Calith said softly. Tony helped her to a chair near the command station. "My ancestors built it, long ago, before the Empire, when my people were explorers, not conquerors." Lisa looked at the ancient structure. "Can you activate it?" "I will try." Calith closed her eyes. The crystals on her head began to glow again. They flickered and sparked, damaged but still working. She reached out with her mind to the old machines in the gate. Nothing happened at first. Then, slowly, the symbols on the gate began to glow brighter. The crystals in the ring started to pulse with light. The ancient structure was waking up after hundreds of years of sleep. "Contact!" Karen shouted from her station. The Sundari ships just came out of the dust cloud. "They see us." Lisa looked at the tactical display. 3 Sundari warships, their weapons already charging. They were still far away, but they were closing fast. "How long until they reach weapons range?" Lisa asked. 8 minutes. Calith, how long until the gate is ready? The princess did not open her eyes. Sweat was running down her blue face. Blood dripped from her nose again. 6 minutes. Maybe 7. The gate is old. "It is resisting me. The Sundari are hailing us," Danny said. "Put them through." Commander Vrek appeared on the screen again. His yellow eyes were angry. "Human ship, stop what you are doing. If you activate that gate, we will destroy you before you can reach it." Lisa stood up from her chair. "Commander Vrek, you do not have to do this. The war is over. The Volanthi lost. What will killing this girl change? She's the last of the royal line. Her family destroyed everything my people built. When she dies, the royal bloodline dies with her. There will be justice. Justice is a trial. Justice is a court. Justice is not hunting a wounded girl across space and threatening to kill a medical crew. Do not speak to me about justice, human. You were not there when Sundari Prime burned. You did not watch your family die in the fire. You do not understand." Lisa's voice softened. "You are right. I was not there. I did not lose what you lost. I cannot imagine that pain." She took a step toward the screen. "But I know what happens to people who let pain turn them into monsters. They become the thing they hate. Is that what you want? Do you want to be like the Volanthi Emperor? Do you want your children to grow up in a galaxy where we kill people because of their blood, their family, their species?" Vrek was silent. His yellow eyes flickered. "She is just a girl," Lisa continued. "She did not order those attacks. She did not push the button that destroyed your cities. She was born into a family she did not choose, and now she is the last one left. Everyone else abandoned her. Her guards, her advisors, her own people. They all left her to die. And you want to finish what they started? She carries the royal blood, the blood of murderers. We all carry the blood of murderers. Every species, every people. Somewhere in our history, our ancestors did terrible things. But we do not have to be defined by what our ancestors did. We can choose to be better. The Sundari commander stared at her through the screen. The seconds stretched out. Gate activation complete, Keleth said weakly. She opened her eyes. They were filled with pain, but also with hope. Lisa did not look away from Vrek. We are leaving now, Commander. You can follow us if you want. You can destroy us if that is what you need to do. But I am asking you to let us go. Not for me. Not even for her. But for yourself. For the person you want to be. Vrek said nothing. Commander, Danny said quietly, the gate is open. We can go. Lisa still did not look away. What do you say, Commander Vrek? What kind of person do you want to be? A long moment passed. Then Vrek's face changed. The anger was still there, but something else was there too. Something that looked almost like doubt. Go, he said finally. His voice was rough. Go before I change my mind. Thank you, Lisa said. Do not thank me. I am not doing this for you. I am doing this because I am tired. Tired of death. Tired of revenge. Tired of this war that never seems to end. He paused. But if I ever see that girl again, I will not let her go. This is the only mercy she will get from me. I understand. The screen went dark. Lisa turned to Danny. Take us through, now. The starlight moved forward, toward the glowing ring of the ancient gate. The crystals pulsed with light as they got closer. The air seemed to vibrate with energy. And then they were through. The universe shifted around them. For a moment, everything was light and sound and strange sensation. Then it stopped, and they were somewhere else. The stars were different here. Old and red. The space was empty. No ships, no stations. No signals. Just silence and darkness and ancient light. Behind them, the gate flickered and went dark. It had used the last of its power to send them through. There was no going back. Lisa let out a breath she did not know she had been holding. They were safe. For now, Keleth was crying. Silver tears ran down her blue face. I did not think it would work, she said. I thought we would die. Lisa walked over and knelt beside her chair. But we did not die. He made it. He let us go. The Sundari commander. He let us go. Yes. Why? Lisa smiled softly. Because somewhere inside him, he was still a good person. He just needed someone to remind him. Keleth looked at her with wonder. You really believe that, do you not? That people can be good. Even enemies. Even people who want to kill you. I have to believe it. Because if I do not, then what is the point of anything? The princess was silent for a long moment. Then she reached out with one of her working hands and took Lisa's hand. Thank you, she said, for believing in me when no one else did. Lisa squeezed her hand. That is what humans do. We believe in people. Even when it is stupid. Even when it is dangerous. Because that is how things change. One person at a time. One choice at a time. The starlight drifted through unknown space, carrying its crew of humans and one Volanti princess toward an uncertain future. But for the first time since the rescue, Lisa felt something like hope. They had made it. Now the real work could begin. 3 weeks passed in the unknown space beyond the gate. The starlight drifted among the old red stars, far from any civilization. There were no enemies here. No hunters. No war. Just silence and peace and time to heal. Keleth grew stronger every day. Her wounds were closing. Her arms were starting to work again. Her neural crystals were slowly repairing themselves, growing back brighter than before. Lisa checked on her every morning and every night, watching her recovery with careful eyes. But the body was not the only thing that needed healing. The nightmares came every night. Calith would wake up screaming, her eyes wild with terror. She would see the faces of the dead. She would hear the sounds of the attacks. She would feel the moment when her own people betrayed her, walking away while the enemy ships closed in. Lisa was always there when she woke up. She would sit beside the bed and hold Calith's hand until the shaking stopped. She never asked questions. She never pushed. She just stayed. One night, after a particularly bad nightmare, Calith finally started to talk. "I knew," she said. Her voice was hollow. "I knew what my father was doing. I knew about the attacks. I knew about the deaths. I knew everything." Lisa sat quietly, listening. "I told myself I could not stop it. I was just a princess. I had no power. My father made all the decisions. My brothers commanded the fleets. I was just decoration, something to show at ceremonies, a symbol of the royal bloodline." Calith's hands were shaking. But that was a lie. I could have done something. I could have spoken out. I could have refused to stand beside him. I could have run away and told the galaxy what was happening. "Why did you not?" "Because I was afraid." The words came out like poison being pulled from a wound. I was afraid of my father. Afraid of losing my position. Afraid of what would happen to me if I fought against him. She looked at Lisa with eyes full of shame. I watched him destroy worlds, and I did nothing. I said nothing. I just stood there and smiled for the cameras. Lisa was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke. "Do you know how many people on my crew have done things they regret? Things that keep them awake at night?" Calith shook her head. "All of them. Every single one." Lisa leaned back in her chair. Danny was a soldier before he became a pilot. He fought in the border wars. He killed people. People who were probably just following orders, just like him. He still has nightmares about it. That is different. He was a soldier. He was following orders. Is it different? He pulled the trigger. He made the choice. And he has to live with that every day. Lisa paused. Karen lost her family in a ship accident. She was the engineer. She missed a warning light because she was tired. By the time she noticed, it was too late. Her husband, her daughter, gone. Calith stared at her. How does she live with that? She helps other people. Every day. Every patient we save, every life we protect, it helps her a little bit. It does not erase what happened. Nothing can do that. But it gives her a reason to keep going. You think I can do that? After everything I allowed to happen? Lisa reached out and took Calith's hands in hers. I think the past is already written. We cannot change it. We cannot undo the things we did or the things we failed to do. But the future is still empty. We get to decide what goes there. What if I decide wrong? Then you decide again. And again. And again. Every day is a new chance. Every moment is an opportunity to be better than you were before. Calith was crying now. Silver tears running down her blue cheeks. I do not deserve your kindness. Maybe not. But I am giving it to you anyway. That is what kindness is. It is not a reward for good behavior. It is a gift. And gifts do not have to be earned. The princess fell forward into Lisa's arms, sobbing. Lisa held her tight, this broken girl from a broken empire, and let her cry. Sometimes that was all anyone could do. Just hold someone and let them feel their pain. The days that followed were different. Calith started coming out of her room. She would sit on the bridge and watch the stars. She would talk to the crew members, asking them about their lives, their families, their stories. At first, they were suspicious. This was a Volante princess. Her people had been their enemies. But slowly, one conversation at a time, things began to change. Tony Garcia was the first to really accept her. He had been the one to help her walk to the bridge on the day they escaped through the gate. Now he brought her meals and sat with her while she ate. He told her about his home on Earth, about his mother's cooking, about the ocean he had loved as a child. "I have never seen an ocean," Callis said one day. "Volante have them, but I was never allowed to go. My father said it was too dangerous. Too many people who might want to hurt me." "That is sad," Tony said. "The ocean was my favorite place. The sound of the waves, the smell of the salt, the feeling of sand between your toes. It sounds beautiful." It was. Tony smiled. "Maybe someday you will see one. Maybe." Karen was harder to win over. She had lost friends in the war. People she had known for years, killed by Volante weapons. When Kelleth tried to talk to her, Karen would give short answers and walk away. But one day, Kelleth found Karen sitting alone in the observation deck, looking out at the stars. Karen was crying. "I'm sorry," Kelleth said softly. "I did not mean to disturb you." Karen did not look at her. "It is the anniversary. My husband died 4 years ago today." Kelleth hesitated. Then she walked over and sat down beside Karen. Not too close. Just close enough to be present. "I lost my mother when I was young," Kelleth said. "She was kind, gentler than the rest of my family. She used to sing to me at night." Karen glanced at her. "What happened to her?" "She got sick. There was nothing anyone could do." Kelleth's voice was quiet. "I still remember her voice. Sometimes I hear it in my dreams." They sat together in silence for a long time. The stars drifted past the window. Eventually, Karen spoke. "My husband loved the stars. He used to say that no matter where we went, the stars would always be there. Something constant. Something eternal. He sounds like a good man." He was. Karen wiped her eyes. "I blamed your people for his death. The war, the stress. It broke him down. But I suppose I cannot blame you specifically. You did not know him. You did not kill him. I am still sorry. For everything my people did. For everything I failed to stop." Karen looked at her, really looked at her, for the first time since they had met. "Lisa says you want to make things right. That you want to help." "I do. I do not know how yet. But I want to try." "Then try." That is all any of us can do. It was not forgiveness. Not yet. But it was a start. Lisa watched these changes from a distance. She saw Kelleth slowly becoming part of the crew. She saw the walls coming down, the suspicion fading, the hatred turning into something else. It was not fast. It was not easy. But it was happening. One evening, Kelleth came to Lisa's quarters. Her crystals were glowing bright and healthy now. Her arms were strong again. She looked different from the dying girl Lisa had found in the wreckage. She looked alive. "I have been thinking," Kelleth said, "about what you told me, about the future being empty, and I want to fill it with good things, with help and healing and hope." She took a deep breath. "My family had secrets, hidden places, supplies, resources that were stored away for emergencies. I know where they are. I know the codes to access them." Lisa leaned forward. "What kind of resources?" "Medicine, food, ships, technology, enough to help thousands of people, maybe millions." Kelleth's dark eyes were shining. "The war destroyed so much. There are refugees everywhere. People without homes, without food, without hope. I want to help them, even if some of them are the same people who want you dead." especially them, because that is how I prove that I am different from my father. Not with words, with actions. Lisa smiled. It was the first real smile she had allowed herself in weeks. That sounds like a good plan. Will you help me? What do you think? Lisa stood up and put her hand on Kayla's shoulder. I did not save your life just to watch you from the sidelines. We are in this together now. All of us. Kayla smiled back. It was small and uncertain, but it was real. A future was empty, and they were going to fill it together. 3 years later, the galaxy had changed. The medical ship Hope moved through the outer colonies, carrying supplies and doctors to places that had been forgotten by the great powers. The ship was bigger than the old Starlight had been, with a crew of 50 and enough medical equipment to help thousands of people. At the helm stood Calith, VAR, single quotes ENN. She was no longer a princess. That title had died with her empire. Now she was something better. A doctor, a healer, a leader. Her crystals glowed bright and strong on her head, but she did not wear them as symbols of royal blood anymore. She wore them as reminders of how far she had come. Lisa stood beside her as they approached their next destination. It was a refugee camp on a small moon, where survivors from a dozen different species struggled to survive. The camp had been there for 2 years. No one had come to help them. Until now. How many people are down there? Calith asked. Danny checked his sensors. He was older now, with gray in his hair, but his eyes were still sharp. About 8,000. Mostly Sindari and Keth. Some Volanti too. Calith nodded. Prepare the landing teams. We will set up medical stations in the main square. Food distribution will start immediately after we land. Yes, Captain. Lisa smiled at the title. Calith had not wanted it at first. She had said she was not worthy of leading anyone. But the crew had insisted. They had followed her through a dozen rescue missions, 100 acts of mercy. They trusted her. They believed in her, and she had learned to believe in herself. The Hope landed in the center of the refugee camp. People gathered around, watching with tired eyes. Some of them looked hopeful. Some looked suspicious. A few looked angry when they saw Volanti crystals on Calith's head. A Sindari elder pushed through the crowd. His scales were dull with age, and he walked with a cane. But his yellow eyes were sharp and clear. A Volanti ship, he said slowly, bringing aid to Sindari refugees. I never thought I would see such a thing. Calith stepped forward. My name is Calith. I used to be a princess of the Volanti Empire. Now I am just a doctor. I am here to help. Why should we trust you? Your people destroyed our world. You should not trust me. Not yet. Trust is earned, not given. Calith gestured to the crew behind her, who were already unloading supplies. But I hope you will give us a chance to earn it. We have medicine for your sick, food for your hungry, and doctors who will work until everyone is treated. The elder studied her face for a long moment. Then he looked at the humans working beside her, carrying heavy boxes without complaint. He looked at the Volanti refugees in the crowd, who were watching their former princess with wonder. He looked at Lisa, who stood quietly by Calith's side. You are the human, the elder said to Lisa. The one they talk about. The one who saved the princess when everyone else wanted her dead. I am just a doctor, Lisa said. Same as her. That is not what the stories say. The stories say you stood against the Sindari fleet. That you told our commander to let you go. That you reminded him what it meant to be good. Lisa shrugged. I just told him the truth. He made his own choice. The elder nodded slowly. Commander Vrek died last year. Did you know that? No, I did not. He was old, tired, but before he died, he told his children about you, about the human who asked him what kind of person he wanted to be. The elder's voice softened. He said it was the first time in years that anyone had talked to him like he was more than just a soldier. More than just a weapon of revenge. Caliph looked at Lisa with surprise. Lisa's face showed nothing, but her eyes were bright with emotion. He changed after that day, the elder continued. He stopped hunting Volanthi. He started working for peace. He spent his last years trying to rebuild what the war had destroyed. He paused. And now his granddaughter is in this camp. She is sick. Our doctors cannot help her. Caliph stepped forward immediately. Take me to her. I will do everything I can. The elder studied her face one more time. Then he nodded. Follow me. They walked through the camp. The refugees watched them pass. Some whispered to each other. Some pointed. But no one tried to stop them. No one threw rocks or shouted insults. They just watched and waited. The elder's granddaughter was a young Sindari girl named Vera. She was lying on a thin mattress in a dirty tent, her green scales pale and her yellow eyes dull with fever. The sickness had spread through her body, attacking her organs one by one. Caliph knelt beside her bed and took out her medical scanner. She studied the readings carefully, her face calm and focused. I can help her, she said finally. The sickness is serious, but I have seen it before. We have the medicine on our ship. The elder's eyes filled with tears. You would save my granddaughter? After everything my people did to yours? Your people did not do anything to me. And even if they had, this child is innocent. She deserves to live. Lisa watched from the doorway as Caliph worked. She administered the medicine, adjusted the treatment, and explained everything to the elder in simple words. The other doctors from the Hope joined in, treating other patients in the camp. By sunset, they had seen over 300 people. That night, Lisa and Caliph sat together on the roof of the Hope, looking up at the stars. The camp was quiet below them. For the first time in years, there was hope in this place. I received a message today, Caliph said, from the Sindari Federation. Lisa looked at her. What did they say? They dropped all charges against me, officially. They said my work has proven that I am not my father, that I am not the enemy they thought I was. How do you feel about that? Caliph was quiet for a moment. I do not know. I thought I would feel free, or happy, but I just feel tired. She paused, and grateful. Grateful that I was given a chance to become someone else. Lisa put her arm around her friend. You did the work. You made the choices. Every day, you chose to be better. That was not me. That was not luck. That was you. But you showed me it was possible. When everyone else saw a monster, you saw a person. When everyone else wanted me dead, you wanted me to live. Caliph turned to look at her. You saved my life, Lisa, not just my body. My soul. Your soul was never broken. It was just lost for a while. They sat together in comfortable silence. The stars glittered above them, ancient and eternal. Somewhere out there, the Sindari were rebuilding their world. The Keth were creating new colonies. The Volanthi refugees were finding new homes. The galaxy was healing, slowly but surely. What do we do now? Caliph asked finally. We keep going, Lisa said. We find more people who need help. We keep showing the galaxy that enemies can become friends, that the past does not have to control the future. And if we fail, then we get up and try again. That is what humans do. Lisa smiled. That is what you do now too. Caliph smiled back. It was a full smile now, warm and real. Not the uncertain thing it had been 3 years ago. This was the smile of someone who had found her purpose. Someone who knew who she was. Thank you, Caliph said. For everything? Thank me by keeping going. By saving more lives. By proving that one person can make a difference. I will. I promise. The next morning, the Hope lifted off from the refugee camp. The people below watched it go, waving goodbye. The elder stood with his granddaughter, who was already looking better. She waved too, her small hand moving in the cold air. On the bridge, Kella set the course for their next destination. Another camp. Another world. Another chance to help Danny turn from his controls. Where to, Captain? Kelleth looked at the star map on her screen. There were so many places that needed help. So many people who had been abandoned. So many chances to make things right. Everywhere, she said. We go everywhere. Lisa stood beside her and watched the stars streak past the window. 3 years ago, she had found a dying princess in the wreckage of a destroyed ship. She had made a choice that everyone told her was stupid. She had believed in someone who the entire galaxy had given up on, and it had changed everything, not just for Kelleth, not just for the crew, but for thousands of people across dozens of worlds. One choice, one act of kindness, one refusal to give up. That was the power of humanity. That was what it meant to be human. The Hope flew on through the endless dark, carrying its crew of healers toward their next mission. Behind them, the past faded into memory. Ahead of them, the future waited to be written, and they would write it together.